This thing's shooting nice. Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. Hope you're well today. Hope all is good in your world, and I hope you're having a great weekend so far. Now, if you saw my last video where I was shooting the Han bow by Sarmot Archery, one of the things I talked about was wanting to get some different arrow shafts that were a little bit longer so that I could draw back further and get the bow to its maximum potential. So what I wanted to do was go with a set of bamboo arrow shafts that were a little bit longer than some of my carbons, and then that way I could build them out and get the length that I wanted. And the overall length that I finally ended up with the components that I bought, was about 34.5 inches long, so that's plenty enough for me. Now, the shafts that I picked up on Amazon are these. We're going to go down to the table and look at them here in just a minute. $25 for a pack of 12. These are 33 inches long, and they're actually really good value for the money. I had one bad one in the bunch. So let's go down to the table. We're going to talk about these arrow shafts. I'm not going to go through a full build here, but I am going to show you something that would help you if you do purchase these, and something that I kind of tinkered around with, and it gave me a much better result than just gluing the field tips onto these and letting them go. So let's go down to the table. Let's look a little bit further at these arrows, and then I'll show you what you need to do to make them work well. Okay, so this is the arrow shaft shafts that I picked up from Amazon. And again, for a pack of 12, they were $25. But they're really good shafts. I had one damaged in the box when I got it. I'll show you that here in a second. Something you need to look out for if you're going to purchase bamboo shafts, or even wooden shafts for that matter. And really, you should be inspecting your arrows just because there are always manufacturing flaws, or can be manufacturing flaws, that you want to watch out for. Now, the one thing about these arrow shafts, they are rated from 35 to 70 pounds. I don't know the actual spine of these because they didn't give that in there. So what I'm going to have to do is build me a spine tester to start checking the spine of these bamboo shafts. And I do plan on making some from start to finish in one of my upcoming videos. But again, now the thing that peeves me about these shafts is this shaved off end here. The picture didn't show this, and this was on the last bamboo shafts that I purchased. And that right there can create problems. Now, I know you have to bring this to a point to make it fit inside your field tip. I think I've got one here somewhere. There it is. To fit inside your standard field tip, your glue-on field tip. But even when you do that, what this does is it gets you close to this shoulder, and these things do not glue on straight, no matter how hard you try. Now, we're going to be using a two-part epoxy. I went with the Gorilla Glue epoxy. This stuff heats up and expands as it starts to set. They say it's a 5-minute set time on these. Not so much. You want to let them set for a day to truly cure. Now, this stuff is toxic with its fumes, so you want to do it in a well-ventilated place. And it is a strong smell. If you've ever used this type of epoxy, it stinks. So be ready for that. Probably best to do it outside. Now, one of the things I did differently with this is I went with an outsert instead of a traditional field tip that you glue on. Now, these outsets were really nice. You can pick up a pack of 20 of these on Amazon for, I think it was $10 is what I paid for them. They are aluminum, and they do weigh in at right under 50 grains. So it's going to give you a 50 grain outsert on your arrow tip, or on your arrow tip, and then you can put whatever field tip, broadhead, or whatever you want to on this, so it gives you a lot of options whenever you're building your bamboo or wooden arrows. Now, the other thing too, and somebody wrote a complaint about this in the reviews on these, they don't have the threads on the inside. It's just smooth metal, which is fine. You're going to have to work around that, and I'll show you how to do that here in a minute. But you can get more expensive ones, and I'm sure they're out there and better. But for me and my build and just shooting in my backyard, this is all I need. So I'm going to show you how to do that. First, we're going to fix this. Now, the other thing too with these bamboo shafts, you need to make sure that you get some sinew, or you can use serving thread and super glue like I did. I'll show you here in a moment. You want to get something around these just under the valley of the nock, because at times these can split on you, especially when you're putting that much force or that much energy into that one spot from the stored energy in the limbs. It can split these, and I've had one or two split on me before. So it may seem like a pain to do it, but take time and put something around this to protect that knot from splitting and damaging your arrow, because once that splits, throw it in the garbage, you can't use it anymore. So now we need to fix this. What we're going to do is take about a 1/2 inch off of this, and then we're going to take a little bit off of this lip or shoulder here, because we want this to fit well. And there's a little trick I'm going to show you that's going to really help these to line up and glue on a lot better than what they do now. And I wish I would have learned this trick on my other builds. But let's go ahead and take this off. Then I'm going to fix this, and then I'm going to show you how I actually compress this piece of bamboo down just a little bit to make this fit even better. Okay, so I have this trimmed down now. Took about a 1/2 inch off of it, and that's what it left me. Now what you're going to notice is this won't just easily push on to the end of that because of that ridge, and because this is a little bit too big. So we're going to have to make that fit. Now you could force it in there, but you run the risk of damaging the arrow shaft itself. So what we're going to do, I'm going to take just my knife and I'm going to take this down just a little. And all I'm really doing, it's helping to reduce that ridge, but it's also taking that finish off of this bamboo shaft. And don't worry, we're going to cover that up. So let's see. Get you a little bit better, but we're going to compress this down so that it will fit inside there, and this is going to take a few turns. So let me show you how I do that. Now what I've done is I've taken just an old piece of 2x3 and I have drilled a 5/16 hole in this. Now for this to have longevity, this will need to be made out of some kind of smooth metal that you could use repeatedly. So as you use this method I'm fixing to show you, you're going to have to drill additional holes because this is just going to get worn out. And all we really want to do is we're going to apply a little heat to the end of this shaft. Again, we've taken some of that down, but really we've just taken off the the finish. If I can get my candle to burn, I'll be doing a lot better. And we're just going to apply some heat. Just going to apply a little heat to this shaft. You don't want to set it on fire and you don't want to burn it. And once you heat up the fibers of this bamboo, it's going to take it and you're going to push it down into your block. And that's going to compress those fibers down a little bit and make this a lot smaller in diameter. So let me do it again. And again, you're going to have to drill out a couple of these because over the course of time it's just going to wear out because it's wood and it's going to lose its shape. Pull that back out. Let's heat it up one more time. Push it in and you can twist it. It's not going to hurt it. And pull it back out. And then once you do that, that tip slides right over that bamboo shaft, and you can see it's a lot straighter application because you're getting more of the meat of the shaft up here and it's not wobbling around the end down there. So that is the way you make these fit and fit well. It's just a slight modification that you can do to get a better arrow build. And it not only works well with those, but with these too. Gives you a straighter fix. Now we are going to sharpen this down a little bit. One of the things you need to watch for is this, because you have taken off a good bit of that. You want to reinforce that again. Pick you up some bamboo skewers. You can get a bag of these things for extremely cheap, not a lot of money. And all we're going to do, you can either use wood glue, I just use super glue. Doesn't really matter so much, but you do want to put some reinforcement back into this. Put a little dab of super glue in there. Take your skewer, push it in, break it off, and then once that sets, what you can do is just trim that up a little bit. And that is going to make for a good arrow build. Now you can sharpen the tip of this just a little bit with just a standard pencil sharpener. I'm not going to take it down too deep. are too aggressive on it. I just want it to fit a little bit more snug inside that outsert. And the last time I did this, somebody told me I was doing it wrong. So if I'm doing it wrong, so be it. There you go. Now all you do is you mix your epoxy, glue that thing on, and you are good to go. And again, let them set for about a day. You can see that. That is a solid build on that. And it's relatively straight too. So here is your completed arrow shaft build with this bamboo arrows that I picked up on Amazon for $25. That's not a bad deal. And the shafts are really good quality, with the exception of the one that was damaged, and it wasn't damaged in shipping, so it came from the seller. But I'm not going to push the issue. I've got some really nice arrow shafts here. The outserts are what stole the show for me. If you use the method that I showed you of compressing down the fibers in the end of the bamboo shaft, it helps the outserts fit nicely, and then you can just trim them up a little bit and you'll get a really nice glue whenever you put those together. The arrows themselves are heavy. They're about 586.4 grains total weight. Now that is an average across all of them that I've built so far, and that's the average weight of these. So that puts you somewhere in the neighborhood of 16.99 GPI and then about 16.75 GPP. So they are a heavy shaft. They're not built for speed, but they will give you more kinetic energy when it impacts the target. So my carbons are going to fly a lot faster than these, but man, these things are fun to shoot. Now, I don't know the actual spine, like I stated earlier, so I'm going to have to build a spine tester just to see, because I am curious what these are actually rated at. And that broad spectrum that they said, 35 to 70 pounds of draw weight. They need to be a little bit closer on their specs. But again, I can figure that out, and I'm going to do that as soon as I possibly can. So overall, great build, happy with these, really pleased with the results. So I'm going to take them outside. We're going to be shooting these from my Honku and my AF Archery Sekai bow, and we're going to see how they perform out of those respectively. So let's get outside and shoot. All right, trying it with the Honku bow first. Let's start like this. Spread. I don't know how to do it. Those fly nice out of this bow. And that heavier arrow tames it a little bit, I think. Yeah, sweet. Again, a heavier arrow, you're not getting as fast arrow flight downrange, but you are getting more kinetic energy when it hits the target. Man, those things hit with authority. Nice. Let me go collect those, and we're going to shoot with the AF Sekai bow. This Sekai bow is still one of my favorites to shoot. I love it being in my collection. I think I have an obsession. Man. Even with the heavier arrow, both of these bows put these things down target pretty well. Still not as fast as carbons, but that's okay. That's a pretty good shot. Let's let me go get those arrows. Woo! Nice, very nice. Happy with that. So I hope you've enjoyed this brief video about building bamboo arrow shafts. Now I will be taking some time here in the very near future to see if I can collect some bamboo that's growing in the wild and take an arrow from start to finish. Hopefully I'll be able to do that, and I'll record that adventure for you as well. But overall, inexpensive arrow shafts that you can pick up on Amazon that do make a really nice build. Again, to me, the star of the show for this build was the outserts. That really helped with building these, and I hope the tip I gave you on compressing the fibers in the tip of the bamboo shaft to make them fit better, I hope that helps whenever you decide, if you decide to try to build your own arrow shafts. But overall, had fun with this one. This was really good, and these things work really well with the 2 bows that I demonstrated today. And I actually built them for the Hanku bow, so I'm really looking forward to making some more. But overall, great build quality. I don't think you'll be disappointed if you wanted to try these for yourself. So thank you for coming by. I really appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Thank you for my subscribers who have been subscribers for a long time. I really appreciate it. Thank you for all the comments that you gave me last time I posted for the Hanku bow. Please post your comments below and I'll get back to them as fast as possible. I know I've been slow, but I'm getting back into the swing of things, and I'm really excited about where my archery journey is going again. So again, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And if you have any questions, hit me up on my website, blueskiesarchery.com. You can get me in my other socials as well. I do a lot of stuff on TikTok now, for however long that lasts. We will see. But that being said, thanks again. I really appreciate your time. And it's always my hope that you have a great day, a better day tomorrow, and a wonderful week ahead of you. And until next time.